You don't live here anymore, my dad said across the banker's desk. We're removing your name today. The manager avoided my eyes. Then someone cleared their throat behind us, and everything shifted in that quiet office. My name is Danielle Harper, and I'm 34 years old. I'm a public school English teacher. Nothing glamorous. Just lesson plans, coffee stains, and long parent emails that keep me up at night. 2 years ago, after my mom passed, I moved back home to help Dad manage the bills and the mortgage. The house felt heavier without her. The smell of her old books still lingered in the hallway, mixed with the scent of lemon cleaner she used every Sunday. My older brother was always the favorite, the one they always praised for big potential. I was the practical one. I handled the paperwork. I paid half the utilities. When Dad's health dipped and he missed work, I kept the house from sliding into foreclosure. Quietly, without applause. I wasn't rich or flashy. I didn't drive a luxury car or post beach photos online. I graded essays on weekends and packed my lunch every day. But I was steady, responsible, observant. I believed that mattered. What I didn't expect was to be treated like a temporary guest in the home my name was legally tied to. They thought I was soft because I stayed quiet. They thought teaching kids made me naive. What they didn't understand was that quiet doesn't mean powerless. If you've ever stepped up for your family and still got treated like you didn't belong, subscribe right now. Have you ever carried responsibility no one appreciated? Tell me in the comments. Click hype if you've ever been underestimated. Let's get into what happened next. A week before that bank meeting, Dad called me into the kitchen. We need to update paperwork, he said. His voice sounded rehearsed. I assumed it was refinancing details. Rates had changed. I didn't think twice. But when I walked into the bank office, my brother was already there, leaning back in his chair like he owned the place. Dad slid a stack of documents across the polished desk. I saw the words quitclaim deed. My stomach tightened. You're not investing anymore, my brother said. It's cleaner this way. I've paid consistently for 2 years, I replied. My voice was steady, but my hands felt cold. He smirked. Rent isn't ownership. The banker cleared his throat and explained where I would sign. Dad wouldn't look at me. It's better if it stays in the family, he muttered. I am family, I said. Not the one building equity, my brother shot back. Then he added, right in front of the banker, she's moving out soon anyway. I froze. I had never said that. The banker paused. Ma'am, is that correct? In that moment, I realized they had already told the bank I planned to leave. They had built a story without me. I felt exposed, like I was being discussed instead of spoken to. I opened my mouth to protest, but the branch manager stepped in. Someone from the law office is here regarding the property file. My brother's confident smile flickered. After that day, the air in the house changed. Dad suddenly changed the online mortgage password. I found out when I tried to log in and check the payment schedule. Utilities were quietly transferred fully into my name. No discussion. Just emails saying I was now responsible. At Sunday dinner, in front of my aunt and 2 cousins, my brother laughed and said, It's hard carrying freeloaders. I stared at my plate. The smell of roast chicken filled the room. No one defended me. A few days later, he posted on Facebook, some people leech off aging parents. He didn't tag me. He didn't have to. A woman from church messaged asking if everything was okay at home. Dad began telling neighbors I was transitioning out soon. That word. Transitioning. Like I was some temporary renter. Then the certified letter came. 14 days to sign the removal paperwork. My brother knocked on my bedroom door. Don't make this ugly, he said. What happens if I don't sign? Dad might reconsider his will, he hinted. The message was clear. Obey or lose everything. Something inside me shifted. I stopped reacting emotionally. I started documenting everything. Dates. Conversations. Emails. I asked for written confirmation any time they made a claim. My brother grew more aggressive when I stayed calm. Why are you being difficult? He snapped. I just want clarity, I said. They thought pressure would wear me down. They didn't know pressure sharpens some people. What they didn't know was I never delete emails. Not one. I had 2 full years of bank transfer receipts saved in organized folders. I had text messages from Dad thanking me for saving the house when he fell behind. I had voicemails from my brother admitting he couldn't afford to help with payments. One night, I recorded a conversation where he said, "Once it's in my name, she's out." He thought we were just venting in the garage. He didn't know my phone was recording in my pocket. I dug up copies of the original deed showing joint survivorship language. That mattered. A lot. Then I noticed something else. Irregular withdrawals from Dad's retirement account. Large ones. Authorized by my brother. I wasn't guessing anymore. I was building a case. Quietly, I contacted Mr. Callahan, our longtime family lawyer. He had handled my grandparents' estate. He remembered me as the kid who organized files for my mom at the dining table. I brought printed transfers, texts, and transcripts of voice recordings. As he reviewed the retirement withdrawals, his expression hardened. "This could be considered financial coercion," he said. "Possibly worse." He agreed to intervene formally before any deed change. Meanwhile, my brother grew bolder. He told relatives, "It's basically settled." Dad repeated that line like it was fact. They scheduled the final signing. Mr. Callahan looked at me and said calmly, "Let them think that." The meeting did not happen at the bank. It happened at Mr. Callahan's office. The room smelled like old paper and polished wood. My brother walked in confident. "Let's wrap this up," he said. Mr. Callahan placed a thick 12-page file on the desk. He began with my transfer records, laying them out one by one. Then he placed printed screenshots of texts in front of Dad. He read aloud, "Once it's in my name, she's out." Silence filled the room. Dad frowned. "You said that." My brother stammered. "That's not what it looks like." "It looks exactly like that," Mr. Callahan replied evenly. He presented evidence of retirement withdrawals. He explained how removing me from the deed under pressure could trigger a legal review for elder exploitation. My brother's face drained of color. Mr. Callahan turned to Dad. "Joint ownership protects you. It does not harm you." Dad looked at me differently then. Not like a burden. Like someone who had been shielding him. Finally, Mr. Callahan said, "This deed cannot be altered without her voluntary consent and full disclosure." I leaned forward. My voice was calm. I never wanted control. I wanted fairness. My brother had nothing left to say. The deed remained unchanged. The retirement withdrawals were formally reviewed. My brother kept his distance for months. Dad slowly admitted I had protected him from something he did not fully understand. Trust did not repair overnight. But the balance shifted. I was no longer the quiet girl at the edge of the table. 6 months later, I moved into my own condo. Not because I was forced out. Because I chose to. I walked away with my name intact and my dignity stronger. I learned something powerful. Being quiet does not mean being weak. It means you are listening. And sometimes listening gives you everything you need to win. If your family ever tried to push you out of something you legally earned, you know how deep that betrayal cuts. Have you ever been pressured to just sign something? Share your story in the comments. Subscribe if you believe fairness matters more than favoritism. Click hype to help this story reach others who need it. Did this story hit home? Let me know by liking the video and sharing your thoughts in the comments. Click hype to help this story find others who have felt the same way. Your support makes a huge difference.